Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaming Lounge Podcast, episode 66. Once again, I'm your host, Sebastian, and as always, I'm joined by Dory. How you doing, Dory?
Hello, I'm doing all right. Today, this week was the last week of camp, or at least kind of. I am going to come back for next week, as it turns out, but it'll be much smaller numbers, and I'll only be working like half the shift. So pretty much my summer's over. My summer vacation is over, you could say. And I'm very happy with how this summer went. I had a really great summer and a really great time at summer camp. So excited to get back into the swing of things with my other job now that that's done. And yeah, looking forward to, God, how many games are coming out in the next couple months. So we'll be talking about that. Plus, we'll be talking about Gamescom and Future Game Show. Plus, I have impressions of Sword of the Sea, as does Seb, who beat it today. And Seb also beat Echoes of the End. So we have a lot to talk about. So let's just jump into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Dory mentioned that we're going to talk about Gamescom. Gamescom has been going on. It's still going on, actually. It ends tomorrow, I believe. And obviously, it's the biggest video game convention in the world. And there's been a lot of news, a lot of games. I'm watching multiple streams. IGN, especially, it was like 4-hour streams. Xbox had like 3-4-hour streams the last couple days. And been a lot of things to keep track of. So we're not going to hit on everything tonight, because there's just too much. It'd be a 5-hour show, and it would be boring to listen to. But I think we got a good amount of indies, AA and AAA games as well. And as Dory mentioned, summers are over, pretty much. Summer ended for me 3 weeks ago, basically. It's kind of crazy to think about, but I've been a teacher now, again, for 2 weeks. It's like the school year has been going on for 2 weeks already.
Are nuts down there. Also worth noting, by the time you listen to this, it's probably my birthday. So if I've disappeared from the face of the earth, I've probably been gommaged. So, sorry to my relatives and loved ones, but, I turned 34, so that's it for me. But yeah, I'm very excited to talk about a lot of games, and also excited for it to get mildly cooler, just a tiny bit cooler.
And then, as Dory mentioned, the next couple months are going to be crazy busy, but especially next week. Next week is like one of the most stacked weeks of the year. You got Gears of War and Metal Gear Solid and multiple other games all in the same week, like on the same day of each other. So it's going to be a wild week, starting with Gears of War on Tuesday. But before we get into all that, let's get into our spotlights of Echoes of the End and Sword of the Sea. So I want to start with Echoes of the End, which is basically a AA indie game, if there's the best way I can explain it. It is a really beautiful game. It uses Unreal Engine 5, which is very inconsistent, and we'll get into that. But visually, this game is absolutely stunning. It's definitely one of the most beautiful games of the year. If you just go by the graphics and the environments and the locations. Character models look good. It's a very pretty game. It actually has full cinematic story. It has a characters, voice acting, and all that stuff. It feels like a quality AAA game. They go all out on it. There's issues which we're gonna get into, but it definitely goes for like the PlayStation template. The first party. It feels like a first party PlayStation game that's not made by Sony, for the good and the bad. But it definitely does a good job with the voice acting, I think. The puzzles are actually pretty creative. And you to mix between like environmental puzzles and like using like Rin's powers. They're genuinely fun. And there's some fun platforming. The platforming is mostly simple, especially in the back half of the game. I think the puzzles and the platforming are quite good. But not so much in the first half. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. The dynamic between Rin and Abram is good. There's a boat section, kind of like God of War 2018, where you're sitting in a boat and they're just talking about like their lives or whatever's going on. And it's very interesting. The dialogue is quite good in this game. I think the characters have good chemistry with each other. I think they're very likable protagonists, and you root for them as you go along in the story, which is not that long. I want to say it's like a 12 to 14 hour game. Even though it's not original per se, it is like a new IP and like a new like fresh fantasy world, which its own like culture and its own lore and stuff. So that was cool. I appreciated that. Like, you know, in the endless sea of sequels and prequels and spin-offs and all that stuff, we got like someone's making an original world, even though this world is not so not very original, as we'll get into. And I really like the skill tree and the skills in this game. There's a lot of unique powers you can do with her powers. She has like she kind of has like a telekinesis powers or stuff. Like she can pick up objects or throw enemies across the map or whatever. The combat is not great, but it's pretty fun. Like it's not bad at all. It's okay. I've definitely played way better action games in this game, but the gameplay is solid. Like it's decent. It's not something I would put in the pros, but it's definitely decent. I think most people would probably find it fine. The gameplay is very 7 out of 10 alone. I would say it's nothing amazing. It's not God of War 2018 or the sequel, but it's definitely not. But it's definitely like. It's not as good as those games, but it's like definitely not horrendous either. Like it's not a complete mess. All right, the cons. So unfortunately, this game has more cons than pros. It feels very generic. Like as I mentioned, it's like God of War 2018, but like lower budget, and it feels like an indie version of that, but like not as quality. Like it feels like the PlayStation template, PlayStation first party game, but not as good. It shows that in the jank. There's a lot of stuttering, jank, and quirks, and FPS issues. Like the frame rate just is inconsistent. As I mentioned, the combat's not great, but it's okay. But it doesn't always respond the way you want it to. Dodges and parries in this game are not great. The puzzles get very repetitive. Sometimes I feel like they just put the puzzles in there just for the sake of dragging the game out, or just putting a puzzle there for no reason. Like there's endless puzzles in this game. It's like you do combat, platforming, and then puzzle, and it's like it kind of hurts the flow, I think, of this game, because I think where this game really shines is the environmental storytelling and the characters are interacting and the big cinematic, you know, story, and then the puzzles don't really add to that. The puzzles just feel like gameplay for the sake of gameplay, and I wish they
feel like padding.
100% feels like padding. This game should easily been like 6 to 8 hours and not like 12 to 14 hours. I think a lot of it comes from the padding of the puzzles. And the puzzles get really, when I say repetitive, I mean like it's the same. Like she has the power to destroy like a thorny, like, you know, the world's infested by a plague and she can get rid of the plague, you know, that kind of gameplay.
Right.
And it is the same kind of gameplay over and over again. There is some cool stuff at the end, as I mentioned, like where you can time travel in a section to get rid of a door, but that's not until like the last section of the game. So it just wasn't great overall. And then the enemy variety in this game is just underwhelming. It's just same enemies over and over and over and over again. It's like soldier guys, bugs, and then like harpy looking things, and then it was like big lizards, and that was pretty much the entirety of the enemies in this game. And then you had a couple boss.
And for 14 hours.
Yeah. For 14 hours is just nonstop that. And it was like orc guys too. You mostly fight the orc guys and the bugs and the soldier guys. And it's like, you know, typical, like, oh, they have a shield, break the shield. It's just, this game is the definition of generic. It even has like the Viking. It's like it just feels like a worse version of God of War the whole time I was playing this. And I'm not trying to like bash the game, but like it really does not feel like an amazing game at all. If this game is the definition of like a 7 out of 10, for me it's not even a 7. Like for me, I lean more on a 6.5. I think it's a good game. I think it's a solid experience. Like I feel like if you like these kind of games, you'll enjoy it. But just don't expect anything amazing. This is definitely not even close, not even remotely make my top 10 games of the year. It's just I had a solid time with it. Like I didn't regret my time with it. I wasn't mad or anything. It just kind of it was all right. It was an all right game. If you like visuals, you just want like a cool like cinematic AAA kind of looking game, then you'll probably like this. But just don't expect anything awesome. Do you have any questions for me or anything about the game that you want to know?
How much do you think the puzzles would get in the way of me enjoying the game? That's my big question about it.
A lot. I think
A lot, yeah.
this is they're not like super hard puzzles. They're not like you have to really think about it, and
Right.
it's mostly platforming
But
kind of puzzles.
it's just that there's so many of them.
Yeah, it just gets really redundant. I think.
Yeah.
It's like it's not as complicated like as like an Uncharted puzzle where like you do have a big action sequence and then you're just like solving a puzzle and you have to like look at a book and all that. It's nothing as complicated as that.
Right.
But it's just still the same like I can't. It's mostly just like I have to reach the top of here and I can't reach it unless I like solve this puzzle by moving a box and like carrying the box across the map or something. And I don't. If it was if you asked me, I don't think you would like this game because of the puzzles mostly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my concern.
Because I think you would like the characters, and I think you would. Well, I don't think you would love the character, but I think you might find it fine. I think you would probably enjoy like the music or the combat a little bit. The combat's fine. Like it's kind of but it's like it's decent. So I think you would enjoy it overall. But the puzzle part, I think, would really ruin the game for you and sour it. You'll probably fall in line where I'm at, like 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this game is awful or bad or anything by any means. I'm just saying like this game is not great at all. Like it's the definition of average to pretty good, depending on how you feel. But like I would lean more on the average side, so it's more in the 6s for me than the 7s. So, any other questions?
How'd you find the ending? Was the ending good?
It was alright. The story just like it was okay, but it was so predictable that I just found the story. That's how I found the ending. Just kind of all right. Next game, that's really where I was at. By the end of the game, I was kind of like, okay, I'm ready for Sword of the Sea now. It just didn't grab me. And I think I got like a 72 on Metacritic or something. So it's not. I think I'm pretty on the line where everybody else is on the reviews. Yeah. So
well, hey, speaking of Sword of the Sea.
All right, let's transition to Sword of the Sea now. Now, on the other hand, Sword of the Sea, I find to be a fantastic game, and I'm going to praise the hell out of this game for the next 5 to 10 minutes. But I'll let Dory start with your pros, and then I'll talk about my pros, and then we can get in the cons later. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not as high on this game as Seb, but it's not because it's a bad game. It's just because it's not really my kind of game. Giant Squid have never made a game that I love as much as everyone else seems to love. I didn't enjoy the Pathless at all. I stopped playing it 12 minutes in. I liked Abzu. Thought that was a solid experience. Actually, probably my favorite Giant Squid game, maybe. And I liked Journey. Thought it was a good game. And I think the core premise was inventive for its time and very cool. But that by itself did not make a compelling experience for me personally. I find myself in a similar boat here. Again, I love the vibes. Vibes are immaculate. But as we always say on this podcast, gameplay is king. And although I like the gameplay, it's by no means, to quote what he was saying about Echoes of the End, no means bad. It didn't really get me, right? I did some of the challenges and stuff, and we'll talk about it. But I'll start with the pros. So my pros are largely Seb's pros, right? So I love the movement. I'll basically copy paste here because a lot of this stuff is how I feel too. So I didn't even bother adding notes because a lot of this is how I feel as well. But movement, really, really good, really fun. There are a couple of points where I got stuck. Like there's a late game period where you have to right before the fire region where you have to like time your jumps very precisely, and you have to make sure otherwise you fall. But also the game doesn't tell you, I don't think, but every time you land on a solid material, it basically gives you a checkpoint. So hopefully that helps people who are struggling with that. Visuals, I mean, it's Giant Squid. I don't know what you want me to really say here. Like they're phenomenal. Like it's funny. I had a moment where I started the game and like the game literally hadn't even started yet. And I'm thinking in my head, like, wonder how long it's going to take me to take a screenshot. Oh, never mind. That's beautiful. Screenshot. Like it was instantaneous. I don't think I've ever taken a screenshot through Steam so fast in my life on a video game. It just, the colors how everything looks. Some people have been complaining about frame rate issues. I didn't have any personally. It ran like a fucking dream for me. But I know some people have had some frame issues. I ran everything on ultra settings, and it looked fucking awesome. So I have no complaints there. I also thought that the soundtrack was good. I'm not as high on it as Seb is, I think, but I did love the Ice Regions song. Towards the end of that region, there was a really good chanting song that I liked, that I kind of got into. Everything else was like nice background music, and that's not background music isn't a bad thing. I listen to background music all the time to get stuff done. So there's nothing wrong with being good background music. So it's not like a slight. Austin Wintory does awesome music. So props to him for doing another kick-ass soundtrack. Didn't move me. I don't think there's any songs I'm going to remember, but I liked all of them. I think that the core gameplay loop is fun. Basically, you're just bringing the sea back. Area by area by area, and you're doing that by solving these puzzles and pressing these buttons and using your aquatic friends like dolphins and sharks to kind of get through the game. You know, it's fun, it's satisfying. It didn't blow me away, but I liked it. I think the narrative is fine. It's good, I guess. I don't know. I don't have like too much to say about it because there's really not much there. There are some bit of lore that you can get from statues and stuff like that. I read some of them, but it didn't really like. I wasn't like, oh wow, that's so cool and inventive. Water against fire. Who could have thought about that, right? So I don't know. The story didn't do much for me, but it's fine. I think the narrative is second to the vibes. Actually, everything is secondary to the vibes, but those are pretty much all my pros. I thought the boss fight that was done at the end of the game was fun. It felt challenging but accessible. I never died once, but there were a couple times where I was worried about dying. So I thought they handled that well. Trying to think if there's anything else really. No, I think that's about it. The tricks are cool, but we'll talk about them more in the cons. Yeah, I think that's about it if I'm struggling this much. Do you want to add anything on your side, Seb?
Yes. So the movement in this game is fantastic. I really like the idea of like skating on her sword or his sword, or both, I guess. I feel like this game is very satisfying to skate around. Like this game is really just it's really fun the entire time, and it's a really short experience. So I never once was bored with this game because I was having such a blast exploring everything. It reminds me so much of Journey, which obviously is the same. The director of this game was the art director of Journey, so that makes sense, right? And he said that this game has ideas left over from Journey that he didn't have in Journey, so he wanted to put it in this game. So I can see that for 100%. So this game is a mix between Abzu, which they made, because obviously all the fish and the swimming around and exploring. Journey, like the desert and the locations is very Journey based. Like it looks just like this could easily be in the same world as Journey, and I wouldn't question it. And Tony Hawk, which is funny, but you can skate on you can do tricks and skate and ramps and like you even get rewarded for doing tricks. Like there's an actual mini game in this game where if you get like a combo, which is super easy by the way, like they would ask for like 10,000 and I would have like 30,000 by the time the timer ended. So I don't know if they realized how easy their little challenge was.
It was super easy. Like the first one was 10,000. On my first try, I got, I want to say 16,000. So I almost doubled it. And then I almost doubled it again and got like 22,000 or something like that. 30 something thousand. I was like, this is in the money. So you can get money, you can get currency from doing these things. And it's supposed to be a loop, but I don't find it a very satisfying loop mechanically or otherwise. But basically, you get money from that to get new kinds of tricks so you can do, you can interact with the environment a little more and you can do other challenges. But I only did one challenge and then I was like, this feels like a waste of time. I'm not going to do any more. So that's how I felt. Not that it was like terrible. I just felt like the payout wasn't very good. And that dude who wants your money in that game is a greedy motherfucker. I got some money bags flashbacks. I was like, dude was asking for like 1,000. I'm like, bro, I barely have 100. Like, go away.
He asked for more than that as you go along. But yeah,
I know.
That gameplay loop didn't bother me because this game wasn't that long. Like if this game was like over 10 hours, then yeah, it would start getting old. But because you can beat this game in 3 hours, it never bothered me. I thought the I thought the exploration of this game is really good. Like I love that there's secrets everywhere, and like there's like stuff, the side stuff. That if you want to do it, you can do it. Like you can collect the shells, and you can like find frogs or toads or whatever. And like there's secret areas around around the maps. Unfortunately, you can't go back once you move along, which I find to be one of the cons. But like in a way, I suppose it's not a major con to me, but it's definitely, I think Abzu had the same thing with it, where if you moved along, you can't go back. So it would have been nice if you could explore every area anytime you want, but not a big deal to me. It's a linear game. The visuals, as Dory mentioned, are absolutely gorgeous. I took 1,000 screenshots of this game. Every single moment in this game was a screenshot. Like that's how pretty this game was. This is easily top 5 prettiest game of the year for me. And it's gonna, if I ever make a list of prettiest games, yeah, it's gonna be probably in the top 3. Probably the prettiest indie game by far. This game is gorgeous. The frame rate was 60 frames, consistent, like never had a drop ever. Like it ran flawlessly on my computer. I know some people had computer issues with this game, but my game was flawless. Like I had nothing, no issues with at all this game. It was like it was perfect. Now I would have been nice if I could have played this on the Steam Deck, but I heard that like it doesn't run very well on the Steam Deck, so this feels like a perfect game for the handheld, but not a big deal because playing this on my OLED monitor was absolutely mind blowing. This game just absolutely pops on my monitor. It like this is the kind of game where I invested in an OLED monitor, because it is absolutely jaw dropping how nice the colors are, and how nice the brightness is, and everything about this world is fantastic. Just all the fish on screen, the whales, the dolphins, and the sharks, and I was really into like the gameplay loop of, like unlocking an area and bringing the water back to restoring like the water back to the area and bringing the life back to the area. Like I really had a great time with that. I love that. I love that about Abzu as well, and I was really into that. And I think the gameplay. I think the game is short and sweet. I think I feel like it's a perfect like fun short indie experience. I love that it knows like what it wants to be and what it wants to do. It doesn't like try to pad things out. It's not like Echoes of the End where there's still puzzles in there to make this game 5 hours longer than it should be. I know I love that this game just like knows what it wants to be and gets right into it. There's a post game. There's like speed runs and tricks you can do. All that adds like replay value if you want to get into all that. And I think the simple mechanics and the narrative makes it easy for anyone to jump into. I feel like it's accessible to anybody. I feel like this game was going to appeal to anyone, unless you really don't unless you really like cinematic, games with like full voice acting and big set pieces and things like that. This is not a game for you, but I think for the most part, this game can appeal to a lot of people, just because the simplicity of the mechanics and the narrative. Like the narrative is very simple, which we'll get into, which you can say it's a con. Again, it's one of those like nitpicks. Like it is generic at times, which we'll talk about, but it's fine. It's simple. All right, it's a simple fun game, and I really appreciate this game. It could be my top 10. I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you, but it's definitely a top 5 indie game for me. It's a fantastic game. All right, let's get into the cons now. I'll start with the cons, and then you can add on to anything if you agree or not. The game is very short.
Sure.
The game is very short. Now, was it $30? I believe it was.
Yeah.
Is it worth the 3-hour experience? For me, it is, because I love Giant Squid. Dory doesn't really like Giant Squid as much as I do, of course. Right. So I come from a little more biased perspective because I really like their games, and $30 for me is totally fine because I know what I'm getting. I love the Abzu, and I love Pathless. I platinumed all of them. And the good thing about this game is it's free on, well, not free, but you're going to say it's part of PS Plus if you have a subscription, because Sony funded this game, I believe. It says Sony Interactive, I believe, in the credits. I think they helped make this game happen. Some of the puzzles feel repetitive, and not like puzzles, but like When I say puzzles, I mean like there was like several sections where it was like, okay, put the bubble in the tortoise's mouth to open the door, and it was like it had that they did that like 5 to 6 to 7
Yeah,
times.
it was pretty much all the time,
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, yeah. And it was just, and sometimes I would get lost a little bit and be like, I don't know where you want me to go. But I feel like I didn't have that issue for the most part. But there was like one section like where all the starry area, like the very
Yeah.
blue area. There was like a section you had to like glide across like in the sky, and it didn't tell you where to go. And I was kind of like, where do you want me to? What do you want me to do? But
Yeah.
not really an issue for the most part. So there's just repetitive. Okay, hit a button, bring the water back, skate with the fish, open a door. Same thing over and over again. For me, it wasn't bad, but for other people, I can see it definitely being repetitive. Combat, there's no combat in this game. The only combat is the final boss. This game is mostly just platforming and solving and like opening the door. When I say puzzle, it's like opening a door. As I talked about, you can't visit a previous area, so it's quite linear. I think probably the biggest con for me is that the trick mechanics really don't tie into the game. They're just like kind of like an add-on for just to have fun, I guess. I wish they kind of tied in more because the whole point of this game was one of the points of this game is to buy tricks with the currency, as Dory mentioned, from the merchant guy. And like
Yeah.
it makes it imply like you're getting abilities that that are required to beat this game, but like you really just get tricks for nothing. Like you just kind of just do it for fun.
It just feels like a lot of work for not a lot of reward to me. And so
Yeah,
I stopped doing that very early on because
yeah,
I just felt like it was a waste of my time. I didn't really care about the tricks. I cared about the environments and the gameplay
yeah,
and the music and stuff like that. So I just didn't engage with that part of the game eventually.
yeah. And there's also like a scoreboard at the end of the game when you beat it, and then I really didn't know why. Like I don't know what you got out of it. Like was there?
Nothing.
Yeah, so
Nothing.
I thought that was weird. But
I think it's silly.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
one of my ideas for the game is that instead of having to spend all this money, I think it'd be more fun if you spent the money on like cosmetics, like
yeah,
if if you could change up your sword color or your costume color or something like that, or give like you could give the environment like a makeover, right? Give it different lens or something, or color coding or whatever,
yeah.
and then just hide the tricks in the environment, or make it like less money. I don't know the amount of money you got for doing those challenges, and I absolutely smashed them when I did the first one. It just felt paltry, and I was like, why would I keep engaging in this? Like this doesn't feel worth my time. But yeah, I have other cons too, but you can keep going if you want.
And my last con is just the story is very predictable and has like very familiar tropes to it. First of all, I think the character designs are very similar to the Pathless, so it almost feels like a sequel to the Pathless.
Yeah,
So
I thought that too.
yeah, like Giant Squid definitely has a they tend to use the same character models, like the same kind of design over and over. I mean, they've only done 3 games, but like it feels like they have a certain art style they have for their types of human characters. And I thought I for some reason they kind of like made it like the second character to be a bad guy at first, and then it kind of went like a
Yeah, I didn't get that. It felt like a weird fake out. Like I thought we were gonna have like a boss fight early on, and then they end up
yeah.
being our friend, and I didn't really get it.
I thought it was like a rival or something like that because she
Yeah,
had the same power, and then I
right.
guess it was like a love interest instead. But
Was it
yeah,
a love interest? I didn't get lovey.
I didn't really get love, but it was like a boy and a girl, and it just felt like, or their souls are connected, or something's connected. Like
Sure.
they both have the power of the sword, or something like that. There's no love or
Yeah,
romance or anything in this game, but they're
right.
like connected somehow. They both have this
Sure.
power. It's not really explained. I think the story could be a little bit better. It's just kind of generic. The big final boss being like a big snake thing and save the world from like fire and a plague, basically a desert.
Yeah. So here, this is gonna sound like a joke at first, but I'm like quasi serious. I think this game is kind of like ocean propaganda. It's very weird how everything is just solved by just flooding the area with the ocean. And there are conveniently no animals at all in the desert, so we can't see them fucking drown while fish eat them, right? So it's
Yeah.
just like I'm just like at like halfway through the game, which it's not a long game. I'm just like, what is this doing to the environment? Like, is this
Yeah.
really the best way to return the sea to the planet? It's just like fuck it, just flood
Yeah.
everybody.
I guess there's I guess that
But yeah,
I guess it was the sea originally, so there's no animals there because it's
yeah,
like
I guess so.
it's a sea ground. Yeah.
It just feels weird. It feels like there should have been animals that sprung up or evolved or some
Yeah.
shit, and there's just nothing.
Yeah.
But until you introduce the ocean, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. The story is very basic.
It's basic.
There's little bits of you know, this and that from things that you can interact with in the environment. My biggest issue and why for me it's like a 7 out of 10, 3.5 out of 5. I give it a 4 before I give it a 3. But it's just not, to me, these kind of games aren't super engaging. I just kind of, and I know that's like, for some people, that's what they want out of it, right? They want a very easygoing, kind of take your mind off things sort of adventure. And that's totally fine, of course. I don't have a problem with it. But for me, it doesn't get me like it does other people. I think within the first 10 minutes I was kind of over the gameplay. Not that it was bad. I just was like, okay, I get the point of it. It doesn't feel that interesting to last a 2-hour game, but that's just me. I have a low tolerance for these kind of vibes infused games that are just like mostly based off of art and music and stuff. And again, those things are beautiful and they're done well, and I appreciate them. But I just often feel like the gameplay doesn't back it up enough for me. And it honestly, because that stuff is so good, it just makes the gameplay stick out more for me. But, Seb's a huge Giant Squid fan. He's a Giant Squid fan, you could say. So he really like digs this kind of stuff, and that's great. I mean, I think these games are awesome in their own way, right? They don't really jive with me as a gamer. It's not generally what I go for as a person. But I was glad for a short game that I could play in the middle of a couple other games I was playing, and it was a good experience. I'd sooner say that it's a great game than just an okay game. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't engage me as much as it does other people for whatever reason. I just don't find the same kind of enjoyment that other folks get out of it. I thought the tricks felt pointless, and literally pointless because the points you get, you can't do anything with, like we talked about earlier. So I was a little confused about that. And then the only time you can't do anything with the points is when the tricks actually matter, right? When you can actually fail. That was another thing that bothered me. I think when I play a game like Tony Hawk, right, you can fail all the time unless you put on like no fail mode or something like that, right? There's modifiers. But generally, presuming it's the standard mode, you can fail all the time in Tony Hawk. And for me, that makes it feel like it has risk and it has stakes. For this, it's like, there's just really no stakes at all and there's no risk at all. And so for me, it felt less engaging because of that. I understand, again, for some people, that's the ideal form of game, right? They don't want that risk. They don't want to fail. They just want to vibe and have a good time. And that's great. But, if you know anything about me, I love me a good failure. So, I don't know. For me, that I would have liked for a modifier or a, ability to be able to fail tricks or at least make tricks more interesting, because even when you pull off a bunch of tricks, I'd say the only great area of the game is the winter area where you can do those like pathless things where you get these like spirits around you and suddenly you can boost. That was fucking cool. When you could boost and you could go way up in the air and you could do all these crazy tricks and shit like that. I thought that was awesome. That was my favorite part of the game. I actually really liked the boss fight, which I was very nervous for because I'm like, I don't know how they're going to handle this because, it's not obviously a combat fueled game. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's a 7 out of 10, but it's a very strong 7. I think this is a pretty good game, even for somebody like me who doesn't generally vibe as much with these sorts of, very aesthetically motivated games, so to speak. But yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I'm not as high on it as Seb is, but that's okay. It's still a good time, and I would definitely recommend it at 2 hours. But not for $30. Get it on PS Plus or split it with a friend or wait for a sale. In my personal opinion, I mean, I'm again not as big on Giant Squid.
I do agree that you should get it on sale. Like for a lot of people, $30 is a lot for a 3 hour game. I mean, obviously you can get like maybe 7 to 9 hours if you want to get 100% in this game. But yeah, $30 is a lot. I would wait for a sale. It'll probably drop in price, like 20 something, $15 is a good price. $30 is fine for me though, personally. I think it's a 9 out of 10 game for me. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite games of the year now. Definitely, like I said, my top 5 indies. I enjoyed the accessibility of it, the easiness, the chillness. I love the music because it's just chill. Have a good time with the gameplay. Go explore. Just here's a world. Go explore. I usually don't like that kind of gameplay because it's such a short linear experience. That I appreciate like the small contained map and just the gameplay loop of like bringing the ocean back and the beauty of all the colors and everything. It was a very rewarding, fun 3 hour experience, and I really appreciate it doing that. And I had a great time. And this is one of their best games, and I hope this game gets nominated for Indie Game of the Year. It probably will be, but I hope people don't overlook this game. I think it's great, so definitely check it out. All right, let's move on to our final topic, but it's a very big topic, which is Gamescom, which obviously is, as I mentioned, is the biggest game convention in the whole world. It's in Germany. And it kicked off with opening night live, which I couldn't watch live because it was on it always comes on at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm at work. But I was able to watch it when I got home, and I found that show to be quite meh. But
It was okay.
yeah, it was a very 6 out of 10 for me. But there was a good amount of games which we'll talk about. So we're gonna hit on a lot of games. Most of them are gonna be quite fast because I don't want we don't have the time to talk every game about 20 minutes, and there's not much to say about some of these games. So just be mindful. We're gonna go quite fast with some of these games, and then there's some games we'll talk about in full detail. So let's start with opening night live, which Jeff Keighley is the host of, and they had a pre-show, which ironically I found to be better than the actual show. First of all, the Bubsy. I was like, what? They're doing another Bubsy game, but I'm not gonna play it. But I thought that was like interesting. But the first game I want to talk about is was it Denshatak? Denshatak?
Yeah, Denshatak.
Which is a skateboarding train.
Bro, I'm so pumped for this. This was actually, unironically, probably one of my games of the show. This is like Jet Set Radio meets Tony Hawk meets like Kill the Billionaires. Like this looks so fucking cool. And I'm not even kidding. You can go look up the developer's interview from Gamescom and what the game's about, because it's basically about beating up the rich and a revolution and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, what it is like, imagine you had a modern Jet Set Radio future-esque aesthetic, but you're a fucking train, and you can do Tony Hawk moves, and you can like do multi-lane, and you can like balance, and you can ride a fucking Ferris wheel for some reason, and you can fight a Megazord, and they're anime character. This looks fucking cool. I'm really excited about this. It's probably the game I'm the most excited about that I didn't know about before.
Yeah, I agree. It looked really cool. It's so. Oh, I mean, it's so Asian. I mean, it's so like Jet Set Radio coded. It's like it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm really into this. This looks really fun to play. It comes out in the spring of next year, so that's definitely a game I have on my wish list now. That's definitely one of the best new games I didn't know about. For sure. I was thinking it was Japanese, but I don't think it's Japanese. I think it's from a smaller Asian country, but I'm not sure. That's why I was looking up while you were talking. Anyway.
Yeah.
Keeper. The next game was Keeper, which comes out in October. It was basically just an interview, like people talking about the game. Are you interested in Keeper at all? Because I think
I am. I think Double Fine makes some great games. I haven't played a ton of them besides Grim Fandango and a good portion of Psychonauts. and I never played Psychonauts 2. But I mean, I love the.
What?
Yeah, I know. I didn't finish Psychonauts 1 because I didn't have a controller at that time, and beating one of the bosses on mouse and keyboard. Or no, I didn't have a mouse at the time. I don't remember what it was. I was lacking the necessary equipment to be able to beat a boss, and ever since then, I've lost access to the file or save file that I had, and I'm just unwilling to start the game over again. So yeah, I never finished it through just a bunch of happenstance. I was enjoying it, for the record. It was great. I thought it was a good time. It's right up my alley. And I'm very picky about platformers, as you know, but I was having a good time with it. I might go back to it someday now that I have a controller and I have a mouse. I think I was missing one or the other. I just found it a certain boss on there I just couldn't beat with my setup, and so I just quit. And then eventually, I don't know how, but I lost access to that save file. Like when I look at Psychonauts now, I don't have access to it. So it's weird. But either way, I really respect Tim Schafer and a lot of the stuff he does with Double Fine. I think they make really good games. So it's more about like me respecting their artistic vision and their creative vision, and like the fact that they've been around for so long. Of course, I enjoyed Grim Fandango. I'd use a guide for it because, of course, I did. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed what I played of Psychonauts. I'm sure if I played Psychonauts 2, I'd love it. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. Tepidly excited. I mean, I'm not like, I don't mean to sound like I'm Double Fine's #1 fan, not by any means. But I really respect like the institution, I guess what I'm saying, which is pretty rare. I think Double Fine's one of the few gaming groups I'd be like, oh yeah, those guys are pretty cool. Like I'd say that about Obsidian and like Laren and like people like that, right? They just give me good vibes and stuff. So, and Tim Schafer is also very responsible for, I think, the Kickstarter boom for a lot of indie studios realizing, oh, hey, we can use this to help ourselves get funded and be more in communication with fans. Anyway, all that to say, this looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, Double Fine is like Giant Squid to me. I'm a huge Double Fine fan. I've played all of their games, and I am day one on this game easily. I'm always gonna play their games, and I'm excited for it. The tower concept is kind of weird, but that's how they are. I just appreciate how quirky they are. Like their games are always stand out, their own art style, its own world. I like how original they are, and I'm definitely into this. So that was definitely a cool game that they showed. All right, the next game was He-Man for me. Then they made a He-Man game, He-Man Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction. Obviously, it's not gonna appeal to Dory because she doesn't really like beat 'em ups. But for me, I was really into this. I'm not a big He-Man fan because I was more of a '90s kid than an '80s kid. But I did watch it was like a 2003 revival, and then they did like a Netflix like sequel thing with like Mark Hamill as Skeletor and stuff. That was cool. But I'm really into this game. I love beat 'em ups. If it's like a fun 2-3 hour experience, I'm starting to really appreciate these nostalgic beat 'em ups. Like they did that Power Rangers game. Is fun. They're doing He-Man. I'm sure they're gonna do more 80s and 90s properties with these beat 'em ups. They did that. The Shredder's Revenge with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was really good as well. So I'm having a great time with these beat 'em ups because they're a fun like 2 or 3 hour experience. Just have fun with it. All right. The next one was Absolum, which it looks like it was also a beat 'em up, and I really liked the art style and the gameplay looked really fun.
Yes. Yeah. That's what grabbed me as well. That's why it was on my list. I love the art style a lot.
Yeah.
And, He-Man doesn't do much for me as a property. More of a She-Ra kind of person. Specifically,
same thing, really.
It is the same thing, except I'm talking about the Netflix version that they made a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Or a handful of years ago now. But anyway, the She-Ra, I think it was called The Princesses of Power or something like that. But anyway, this looked really cool. I just love the art style, and really I just wanted to shout it out just for that reason alone.
Yeah.
But it looks fun. I'm not big on beat 'em ups, but I can't deny the art style. It looks really cool. If it got good reviews, I'd at least be tempted to check it out.
Yeah, we can always like co-op together and stuff. Like you can always just try it.
Yeah, and I don't hate beat 'em ups. By the way, I not that Seb said that. I just want to clear up. Like I don't hate beat 'em ups by any
It's
means.
just
I
not your
grew up
favorite.
with them.
It's just not your
It's
favorite.
just not my favorite. It's just not my favorite. Like
Yeah.
I prefer other genres, but I don't dislike it. If you play with a friend, beat 'em ups
Yeah.
are super fun. I grew up playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Simpsons, a bunch of beat 'em ups. So I don't mind the
Yeah.
genre. It's just not something I play.
Yeah, we just both have our genres that we know we're just day one on it as soon as we see it. Like Dory's is more like narrative, like teenage angst. Like you just like the girls like if the girl's like is like in the woods like talking about her life and has angst and and you could if there's choices you can make. Dory's day one.
I'm like that meme. Write that down. Write that down.
If it's Life is Strange coded,
no, absolutely.
day one.
Yep.
Which
Absolutely,
which is funny because I'm also a big fan of that genre
Yes.
as well. But yeah, beat 'em up's definitely one of my favorite genres. So this is definitely once again day one probably game for me. Another game that really looked cool was Long Gone, which was like a
Yes.
pixel version of Last of Us. Like it very similar to Last of Us, I thought, because it was like the environment's very woodsy, like grass is growing everywhere, everything's like decayed and destroyed. I was really into this. They didn't show a ton of gameplay, but it was like a mix of like 2D and 3D. So I was like, this is such a me kind of game that like I'm just curious how long this game is gonna be, how the story's gonna be, and things like that. I have a lot of questions for this game, but from what I'm seeing, I really love the art style. And Dory, I think it was on your list as well.
It was on my list. As soon as I
go ahead.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, holy shit, I didn't know they were making the pixel remake of The Last of Us. They're really running out of ideas at Naughty Dog. Anyway, no, but seriously, this looks really cool. And I don't mind it being reminiscent of The Last of Us. I think as long as you can be very open about your inspirations, but still, you know, move past them in a way, I think it's fine. I think this looks cool.
Even then,
and it's not like we saw a ton.
Yeah, even then, like it's not really. It's only Last of Us in the sense that because like the way the environment looks, with all the grass everywhere. But it's just a zombie game. Like every zombie games look kind of. They all have the same concept: post-apocalyptic suburb city. You know, so I don't think these games ripping off Last of Us. I think it just looks like any other zombie game. You know what I mean? So I don't want to make it sound like it's like it's like The First of Us or something. You know, it's not like trying to rip off The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Middle of Us.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is definitely a game that's more into. This is something that Dory and I be definitely really into. So, I just want to know what kind of gameplay is it? Is it like is it narrative based? Like you make choices, or is it like you actually fight the zombies? And we don't know yet. So I got a lot of questions for it. But you can wish list this now. So I would definitely do that. It's from that what do you call it? The Sloth. I forget the name of them. What's the company that publishes the indie games now? Oh, Outer Sloth. They're the ones that like. I love that they're pushing a lot of new games. Like they're like a bunch of people coming together to do indie games. So they're publishing new games like that. All right. Valor Mortis. This game was so me coded. I was in because it's a Souls game, Souls like, but it's first person. And it's like a Napoleon era. The cinematic was really cool. The guy like injected himself when he turned to like a giant monster zombie thing, and like the combat reminded me of like it was kind of like Dishonored, but in like BioShock Infinite, but like in a more grounded Napoleon setting. Did this game appeal to you at all? I thought this game looked really cool.
It looked cool, and I was really interested in it. And then I heard the word Souls-like, and I was like, I tried that. I'm gonna pass. But I think it looks really cool, and it's from the same people who did. Oh man, they did another game that was very different than this. I think it's from the Ghost Runner people. If I'm right, I could be totally wrong.
Let's look it up really quick, just so we're.
Yeah,
not getting the wrong.
But the graphics look really nice. That's what Yes, from the creators of Ghost Runner.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So very different kind of game, but looks really cool. That's also a very punishing game in its own way. So which I actually appreciated until I accidentally reloaded an earlier save, lost a bunch of progress, and I was like, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the game up until then.
Yeah, I wasn't a big
But yeah,
fan
I'm
of
not
those
sure this is
games.
for me. First
Yeah.
person Souls like, I don't know, that's for me.
Yeah, like ironically, I wasn't really into Ghost Runner. I just didn't it didn't vibe with me. I didn't like the gameplay that much. So I'm hoping this game is more up my alley, which it seems like it is. So I'm really excited for that. This is one of the best new IPs I didn't know about. Like this is the reveal of it. This is one of the best new games shown at Gamescom period. So I'm very excited for it. Wish list.
Also think it's very cool it's using the Napoleonic War. You don't see a lot of that in gaming, so that's cool.
100%. So I thought that it feels original, even though it's just another Souls like. But that's what people describe it as. I need to see like full like 20 minutes of gameplay before I like. You know, people. I think people are overusing the term Souls and Souls like. They describe anything that revolves or parrying or dodging or. And like, you know what I mean? Anything that's even remotely difficult, they're like, oh, it's Souls game. No, we've had games like that for long before Dark Souls.
Yeah, I do agree that there are. We'll talk about this later too with Onimusha. There's way too much labeling things as Souls like. So like some people are like, oh my god, like Ninja Gaiden, that's such a like I bet there are people out there who aren't familiar with Ninja Gaiden and are like, wow, that Souls like looks really good, and you just gotta like just shake them, and you're just like, no, it's a hack and slash, it's different. Well, fucking nerds. But anyway, so I don't know. I thought I heard from the devs themselves that it's Souls like, so that's why I'm saying that.
No,
not because
they did say that in the interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that. I wasn't trying to like arbitrarily give them the label. But
yeah.
but yeah, that's a bummer to me. It probably means I won't buy it, but I still respect the hell out of the kind of creative vision of it, the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I like the setting. So I mean, like if it's not incredibly tough, maybe I'll check it out. I don't know.
Yeah, just because it's Souls like doesn't mean it's going to be incredibly annoying and tough. Like it's not. Like it's. I don't think Souls like means it's going to be pure Souls. Like it's not Wu Chang that we talked about a couple weeks ago or a month ago.
Yeah.
Which is like that's not Souls like. That's like just Souls, a Souls game.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. For better or worse. All right, the next game was Routine that appealed to me. Routine was like a first-person horror game. I really loved the visuals, and I was really curious what's going on. Something about I don't know what Jeff, but he loves these horror games with like guys wearing helmets and like in space or like creepy. You know what I'm talking about? Like he just, I feel like almost every year we've gotten like Dead Space looking games. I mean, we had Chronos as well, as we'll talk about later, and. This game looked like, but I'm totally into it. It seems like it's coming to Game Pass day one, so it's a Game Pass game, and it's coming out actually late this year, and it's also on Steam, which I'll get it there. Does this game appeal to you at all, or?
I thought it looked really interesting. I'm not sure what to make of it honestly, but I liked what I saw. Love the visual style. Love a more cyberpunk or cybernetically infused horror adventure.
Yeah,
that seems pretty cool and interesting to me.
Yeah, I usually not a big first person horror fan, but if it's a nice like few hour experience or something like that, like under 10 hours or something, I'll probably enjoy it for what it is. All right, and the next game was I want to talk about Sword of Legends, which I thought looked really cool. I mean, once again, it's another Chinese Souls game that's big cinematic. You know, like we're gonna keep getting this all the time now. Like it's a new trend in China, I guess, because they keep making this game. But once again, it looks fun to play. It looks good. Looks amazing. It's amazing visually. It really stood out visually. But this is definitely at this point, Dory. It's not a game for you, I think, because.
Yeah.
The only game that's clicked at you was
I literally sighed when I saw this game. And like, I don't know. I hope it's great. I hope people enjoy it. But like when I saw it, I was like, another Chinese Souls-like game steeped in traditional Chinese mythology that looks exactly like Wukong. I'm like, I'm just kind of sick of it. Can we do something new and interesting?
Yeah, but at least Wukong was more of an action game. Like it was Souls light. This is like another Wu Chang, like pure Souls game. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was getting pure Souls from this game. So this is definitely not a U game at all. For me, it's more me coded, but it's more like I'm tired. I'm kind of like I need a break from like this genre is getting oversaturated, and I need a break from these kind of games. Which was this is one of the reasons why I love games like Sword of the Sea, for example. Like I can't keep playing Souls games every week. It's exhausting. So guys, let's try some different games, please. Let's start making different games. All right, now let's get into the main show, which will go a little faster now because I think the pre-show had all the coolest stuff. But
Yes.
but the opening night live show did have some cool stuff too. Hollow Knight, Silk Song. We'll dive deep into this one because it's one of our big demos that had a lot of information at Gamescom this year. So the big news right off the bat, we finally got a release date, which is September 4th. It's coming out September 4th, which aligns with the new. They already said at like Summer Game Fest that it was coming out this year. It's gonna launch with the Xbox Rogue Ally X, which I believe is coming out in October. So this is a month before that, so it lines with the rumors. Dory, this is your notes, so can you talk about Hollow
Sure.
Knight Silk Song?
Yeah, so I did a lot of the impression notes, which was fun. I watched a lot of stuff, just to get a handle on what these games look like. So obviously, Silksong has been highly, highly, highly anticipated by many, many people. First off, there's an interesting article by Jason Schreier you should go check out. It's why Silksong has been delayed for about multiple years. But the short of it is, there's no controversy. There's no crunch, at least that we know of. There's no writer's strike. There's no big upheaval in the workplace. They just like working on the game, and it's a really small team, and they don't have a big budget, and that's it. That's the whole. It's kind of underwhelming. I kind of wanted there to be a big fucking drama, but there's no drama at all. It's just literally Team Cherry fucking loves this game. They love what they're doing, and they want to do it as well as they can. And I mean, I can't even tell you how much I respect that. But regardless, so September 4th, most of these previews are from IGN. So the preview was from two different people. One of them said it's more Hollow Knight, but with tweaks. There were two sections in the demo: Moss Grotto and Deep Docks. Moss Grotto was the easy section. Deep Docks was the hard section. In the Deep Docks, there was a Hornet-like enemy. Hornet is the new protagonist, named Lace, who's a pretty tough boss. And then Moss Grotto had a fairly easy boss named Moss Mother. And the previewer said he was able to beat her on the first try. Said it felt like the tutorial area, probably the beginning of the game. So obviously it'll get tougher. As opposed to the previous Hollow Knight game, you can mantle on platforms, so that should make platforming a little easier. Hornet controls well, but feels a little floatier. They didn't say that was a bad thing, just how it was. You're also slightly bigger than you were last time. In the first Hollow Knight, you are an ant. In this one, you're a hornet. You have some new attacks, like kunai. You can actually heal whenever you want, but you have to fill up a bar. And you don't need to choose between throwing an object or healing like you did in the first game. Deep Docks was very maze-like, while Moss Grotto felt more linear. And like I said before, like a tutorial level. Look, they've been working on this game for about, and I'm sorry, I'm getting over a cold, so sometimes my voice will sound weird. It's that time of year. But I think this game will be a 10 out of 10, and it will be a game I will never touch. I will never touch this game. I will never play this game. I'll be very happy for the people who are going to enjoy this game. I can tell you right now, because of the passion of this team, because of the quotes I saw, because of Jason Schreier's reporting, and the demo that I saw, the footage, this is probably going to be a 10 out of 10 game. Like, it's not going to be a 10 out of 10 game for me, but I think for anybody who likes the original Hollow Knight, who likes Metroidvanias, who likes challenging games, who likes both those things, this is going to be a masterpiece for you. So I'm very excited for y'all. It's not for me, and I have plenty to play. I don't need to play Silksong, so I'm good. Between Lost Soul Side and Metal Gear and Hell Is Us and Chronos and fucking everything, I'm good. But like, yeah, y'all have fun.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this game. I beat Hollow Knight this year, and yeah, like it's gonna be a great time if you like Metroidvanias and backtracking and hard boss fights that are very rewarding. And I'm so into this game, and it's probably gonna be safe bet. Probably gonna be in my best indie game of the year, or like at least in the top 5. So I'm very excited for this game. But it's gonna be a challenge because it comes out like September when there's a bunch of games around it and finding the time to play it. So it's gonna be it's not a game I'm probably gonna beat, but anytime soon when it comes out. So it's gonna take a while, a couple months. I'll play it here and there. Hollow Knight took me a long time to beat as well. So I'm very excited for it. And yeah, I'm so happy to get the release date. It's a perfect handheld game as well, if you have a handheld. All right, so Call of Duty Black Ops 7, I put on my list because I always play the campaign, and I'm sure I'll enjoy the campaign. So I thought the last year's Call of Duty's campaign was actually quite good. I actually enjoyed the story and the campaign, and the missions were cool. I'm one of the few people that really likes the campaigns. Sometimes they're mediocre, but they've nailed it. If you go by to like last year, so I'm excited for it. Lords of the Fallen 2, another Souls game. I have a mixed bag about the first one. They fixed it. They basically rebooted it and fixed a lot of stuff because a lot of people had problems with the first game. I really like Lords of the Fallen's like aesthetic because it has like it's very Dark Souls, but it has like a Lord of the Rings aesthetic too. Like it has like the design of it is very Tolkien, but mixed with like Dark Souls. So I'm into it. It depends what time. It depends when this game's coming out. It comes out next year, but it depends like when it's coming, like what games around it, because this is the kind of game where like obviously it's really hard. And if it's anything like Lords of the Fallen, the first one, they put way too many enemies in one area, and this game gets very frustrating. And I need to make time for this game, so I don't want to play it when there's something else coming out. So it just depends what's coming out around it, if I get it day one or not. The next cool thing at this show was the Sekiro anime. Sekiro No Defeat. That was like really a badass announcement. I'm so into that. Sekiro is one of the greatest games ever made. I beat it last year, and it's arguably the greatest Souls game. I mean, although people don't consider it a Souls game, I guess, but it's From Software's best game, objectively. Even though Elden Ring's my favorite, and I'm totally into it. Were you into the anime at all, or?
I honestly skipped by it. I saw some of it, and then when I realized what it was, I was like,
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything for me.
sure.
The animation looked cool, but
Yeah.
there's so much anime I want to watch. This just
Sure.
didn't do much for me when I could watch so much other stuff.
Sure, and it's a Crunchyroll exclusive, so as somebody that watches a lot of Crunchyroll, I'm day one. Just wait for it to come out. All right. So one of the coolest announcements at the whole Gamescom was Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. I didn't know anything about this game. This is one of the best drops of the show, and it's I think it's arguably the best moment of opening night live because I just didn't know anything about it, and it looked great. It was like they were like, if Rocksteady's not going to give us another Arkham game, then we'll just make our own Arkham game, and that's basically what this game is. It's Lego Batman, but it's like open world, open area, actual combat, the gliding, the platforming. It's like it has tributes to classic Batman, like all the movies, probably the cartoon in the 90s. I'm so into this. Lego Batman games are fun. When Lego makes a really good game, they make really good games, and I'm day one on this game. I was very happy about this game, so I was very hyped. Any disability you at all?
I'm on the complete opposite spectrum. This does absolutely nothing for me. I look, and I grew up playing the Lego games, specifically the Star Wars Lego games. I have fond memories of that, but in general, I've just kind of grown out of them, and I don't want to say grown out of them like, oh, they're kiddie games, whatever. Anybody can enjoy them, but like me personally, like they don't interest me like they used to when I was younger, which is why I use that terminology. But yeah, it didn't do anything for me, but cool for people who love the Lego games. I think that's great. I do want to check out the Lego games at some point. I'm sure I will enjoy them, but it's another kind of genre of games that don't really do anything for me.
No worries. So the next game was for me it was Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 4, which I don't think it appeals to Dory at all. But for me, it's a strategy game. I think the last Warhammer game was a mixed bag for people, I believe. I'm hoping this one is good because like I'm not a big fan of strategy games, but I do like one a year, especially because I am a PC gamer, and one a year is really fun. So like this could be my game, like 2026, or just like I need a strategy game to play, or I'm just having fun with it kind of thing. So I thought it looked really fun. So so I'm hoping this game's good for me. So do I don't think assuming you have nothing to say about this one, so we can
No.
just move on. So we got Onimusha, Way of the Sword, which Dory, you also did notes on this one, right? Do you want to talk about the
Yeah.
notes?
Sure. You know what? I was very like iffy about this game at first, but the gameplay, the demo I watched actually got me interested. I don't need another fucking game that I'm interested in, by the way. But for the record, it worked. Like this was probably one of the biggest success stories from Gamescom week for me. But yeah, let me talk about the demo impressions. So this was Onimusha, Way of the Blade, Way of the Sword. Excuse me. So, the fallen foe, basically how it works is fallen foes drop souls, which is absorbed by your gauntlet, which can talk for currency. It is not a Souls-like, which I already knew. Seb and I had already talked about it. And it's not very punishing, and it feels generally accessible. I like that. That's what I was
It's
worried about.
it's an action game. It's like not every action game is
Yeah.
Souls like people.
For sure, for sure. And I knew that it wasn't Souls-like, but I was still a little nervous. I didn't grow up with Onimusha, so I didn't
Yeah,
really know what to expect or
yeah.
how to feel about it.
Wait,
There is an exhaustion meter.
well,
Oh, go ahead.
actually, before you continue, just to be
Yeah.
clear, like obviously Souls games do the mechanic where like when an enemy dies, you get their souls and use that for currency. But Onimusha did that first, like 20 something years ago. So they did it
Dang.
first. They did it before the
Take
Souls.
that.
Yeah. Hey, so go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So there is an exhaustion meter when you parry enemies or attack them or hit like if you just do damage, I think. And eventually you can get a big damaging attack. Which is similar to like Sekiro or something like that.
Yeah.
But the boss battle felt pretty challenging, and while the normal enemies felt generally not too much of a challenge. There was kind of it's called Break Eason. What you can do is you can either choose a red or blue, and if you choose red, you do extra damage, or if you do blue/purple, I think it's actually purple, you get a bonus helping of souls for breaking their guard. Red souls are currency, yellow souls help with health, and blue help with your meters for special attacks. I noticed that there was like twin dagger weapons, so that was pretty cool. The basic loop of the game is you kill enemies to get blue souls, which powers up your special attacks, which causes your enemies to drop the yellow, which help heal you from any damage. There is a wide window to execute parries, which also basically, if you keep doing that over and over and over again, it'll help build damage buffers. And so possibly you can just do that indefinitely if you're that good at parrying. I'm not sure. And then the previewer said that the sword felt fantastic to use, while the story had some comedic elements that he liked.
And is that everything?
That was it. That was it. Yep.
Yeah. So the gameplay looks incredible. Like I'm really into it. I'm a Onimushi fan since like day one. So I grew up with it on the PS2. The big thing I thought they pushed with the gameplay shown and stuff was like how twisted the enemies are and stuff, like how demonic and crazy these games get. Like there's a lot of like crazy enemies in this game. Like it wasn't just like human enemies. It was like a lot of demon, grotesque looking things. I thought it looked really cool. I really liked the enemy design in this game. So I'm day one on this game. Like Capcom's killing it, and yeah, Samurai, Capcom, fun gameplay, day one. 100%. All right, let's move on to, let's see, we got okay, Fallout season 2. Dory, did you watch season 1 of Fallout?
I didn't because it was on Amazon, and I don't do Amazon.
Gotcha. Well, Fallout is the greatest video game adaptation of all time. It's not even close. Like this show was just incredible. I know people are worried that they're going too much into like oh, no, I'm forgetting the term now, but they're trying to like fan service. They're trying to do too much fan service. Like, oh, let's put like iconic scenery from the games in there just for the sake of the fans, and people are worried that they're gonna sacrifice the story just to have random fan service. But this show actually takes place in the universe of the game. Like it's like canon, I believe, to the game. So I know there's some inconsistencies, but like, who really cares? Honestly, if it's a great show and there's great characters and a great story, why does it matter if there's a little inconsistencies with the canon? Like, are we like, I'm a nerd, but like let's calm down, people. Like it's not there's more important things.
It's not that deep.
It's more important things than that. But Dory, I don't maybe watch it online or something. But like you, even as a non-Fallout fan, I think you'd really like that show. It's actually really well done.
I mean, I love New Vegas, but other than that, I haven't played Fallout. Yeah,
you'll especially like New Vegas, this one, because season 2, because they're doing New Vegas. But yeah, watch it online or something. Just it is a really incredible show. I'm not just saying that. Like as a Fallout fan, I think it objectively is the greatest video game adaptation of all time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I don't say that lightly. And I'm not saying that like ironically, because like most video game adaptations are terrible. So like being the best is not saying much. But actually, this show is actually genuinely like a 9.5 out of 10 quality level of show. Like it got nominated for awards and won awards at the Emmy. It got like Emmys and shit. So it's not just like popular video gamers. Toxic Commando. Dory, you had this on your list. What about Toxic Commando appealed to you?
Yeah, I mean, first off, John Carpenter, my goat.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah,
and I love that he's getting more involved with video games because it's something that he personally likes. I just thought it looked like a fun send up to, well, first off, the 80s. I wasn't really around for then, but it feels like a fun send up to like Left 4 Dead and those kind of games where you'd have to work together and kill a bunch of zombies and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know if I'm going to play this, let alone, play it with friends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I got to respect, like, what they're going for here. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Usually not my kind of game. I do love Left 4 Dead, and I love the Back 4 Blood, playing it with my friends and stuff. But if I can get people to play with this game, I'm definitely going to play this with my friends. If you want to play it, we'll play it together as well. It looks great. It looks really fun to play. Like, it might not be amazing, I don't know, but it looks like a blast to play. So definitely on my list. I've known about this game already, but it's been on my wish list already. But I thought what I'm seeing looks cool. The next game, well, we're gonna skip Zero Parades because I am not playing that based on principle. Even though the IGN interview with the guy, I was like a director or something, but that was a really good conversation. But still not gonna buy the game just because what happened.
Yeah, I do want to talk about very briefly. If people aren't familiar, go check out the documentaries on Disco Elysium from People Make Games. They did a pretty good job summarizing what happened between Zaum and the original creators. And they also just released an addendum that adds on a bunch of new details from the last couple of years. It's one of the craziest documentaries I've ever seen. Certainly the craziest video game documentary I've ever seen. But yeah, I will also not be supporting Zaum. Fuck Zaum. I don't like a lot of what they stand for anymore. They've kicked out basically a lot of the original creators, some with better reasoning than others, but still, a lot of that was unjustified in my opinion. And I just have no interest in playing this, at least not legally. It does have a lot of the same kind of character and aesthetic as Disco Elysium. But yeah, I would rather go play any of the 4 different studios that are trying to do a Disco Elysium spinoff than the Zaum one, which is not a Disco Elysium spinoff, but still, basically in the same style. And it's a spy game instead of a detective game, which has overlaps, as the developer said. So yeah, it's called Zero Parades, which is great. I will be throwing absolutely zero parades when this game comes out. I understand that the rank and file workers don't have much to do with what happens, and it's no disrespect to them. When I say fuck Zaum, I mean the people high up, the investors, the CEOs, like those people. Like, I feel bad for the workers, and I hope they're getting treated right, but no interest for me.
It's a shame too, because Disco Elysium is my favorite indie game of all time, probably. And what I'm hearing about this game sounds really cool, like because you're like because they said like the main character is like anti James Bond because it's like a spy.
Yes.
Yeah, and you gotta deal like the mundane aspects of being a spy. This is a really cool concept, but like
if this was any other fucking studio, I'd be there day one because it sounds like such a cool idea, and the conditioning update to the thought cabinet sounds so cool. Like, the game sounds awesome. I just can't support Zaum. I don't want to support them. They suck. I'm not interested. So I will be getting this game other places or through other means, and I'll just play it through. So
yeah. All right.
And you can feel free to edit that out if you want, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Unbeatable, which is it's been this game.
Yeah.
This game's been on my list for like a long time now.
Same.
This is Dory coded 100%. This is such a Dory game.
Yes.
So you can talk about it if you want first.
I love the animation. I love how they're fucking fighting against the police. I love how the dialogue looks really good. The music, of course, sounds amazing. This is basically a world in which music is illegal, and you have to basically play. The main mechanic is playing music so that you can rebel against the government. So I mean, I don't know what else you want. This is a Dory game and a half. I really liked After Love EP. We haven't talked about it yet, but After Love EP came out this year. And I thought that was a great game. And it's not as politically motivated at all. It's more personally motivated about grief. But this is kind of like that, except if music was literally a revolution. So
yeah, this is technically the same plot as Footloose, but like anime and we could like Scott Pilgrim aesthetic, basically. Like
yes, I love that comparison. Yes, very much.
Yeah. I'm day one. What does there say? I just love everything about this. I've been waiting. It's on my wish list since like I saw this at a random show. I'm waiting to play this. Did it get delayed or something like that, or maybe just we never got a release date for it or something. But I feel like I'm waiting a long time for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's called Unbeatable, right?
Yeah, it comes out November 6th. So it's November. Okay, hold on. It says November 6th,
2025. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, November 6th. Perfect November game, day one.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I played Unbeatable White Label, which was a demo, and then there is a new demo out for Unbeatable as well. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it or whatever, but that wasn't the full game. It was just playing music and shit.
Yeah.
So.
All right, the next game we're going to talk about is Ninja Gaiden 4. Which you also wrote notes for. Do you want me to do it, or you want to take a break? Okay. Well, you want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I can
go. Okay,
I can do it. I mean, I'm pretty excited about this. So
go ahead.
I want to say, besides RE9, this is the game I'm the most excited about. The gameplay just looks fucking phenomenal on every level. Just the blood looks good, the action looks good, the response time, the accessibility. This looks incredible. I'll very briefly talk about it, but let me get to my notes on it. Actually, I actually don't think there is a demo for it. So I
don't think you wrote notes for this one. Actually,
no, I didn't. There wasn't a demo, but I am very excited about it. Seb, you can feel free to talk about it then.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ninja Gaiden 4, which we talked about it plenty of times. I think it was one of our thumbnails when the Xbox show happened, and it looks fantastic. I mean, the fact that even Dory's into this kind of game shows you how awesome it looks, because this game's going to be challenging and hard, and not a Souls game, but it's definitely going to be a hard game. They're always hard games, and everything about this game looks amazing. Like the aesthetic, the action, the visuals, the music's probably gonna kick ass. It looks badass, and the good thing is too for Dory is it's on Game Pass day one. So even if it doesn't vibe with you when you actually play it, you don't lose anything out of it. So
Right. I can't imagine it won't vibe with me. The only complaints I've seen that resonate with me at all is that Ryu only has one weapon,
yeah,
and it seems like Yakumo has several, but I think that's fine because they'll probably balance it out. And yeah, I don't know. Besides that, I mean, there's accessibility features, so I can't really imagine this game not vibing with me. But I mean, it's possible, of course.
yeah. I was gonna say that there's probably gonna be difficulty options and accessibility options. It's not like a Ninja Gaiden game from 20 years ago where it's like things were way harder back then. I'm sure there's gonna be easy
I think
mode.
also they have a better idea of how to make things difficult than just putting bullshit archers or bad
Yeah,
level game design or poor camera. I mean, some of the difficulty from those older games doesn't come from the enemies; it comes from the fucking camera. So
that's true. That is true. That is very fair. I'm day one. It comes out in October, and Dory, you're gonna play it on Game Pass, so
absolutely,
that'll be one of our main topics, like thumbnails for sure. It's coming out October 21st, so awesome. Of course, because everything's gonna come out in October. All right, they did. It's not on the list, but they did do a song for Expedition 33, and I just felt like it was way out of place for this show. Like save that for the Game Awards, like because Expedition 33 is best soundtrack of the year, and I think every song in that game is a masterpiece. But like, didn't it feel a bit out of place for this kind of show, in my opinion? Like,
oh, fuck that. I love this. I
oh
don't. I
no,
don't care if it was out of
no, it
place.
was. It should have been save it for the
I
Game Awards.
literally,
Save it for the Game
I,
Awards.
I literally, I literally cried. I loved this.
Okay,
Yeah, I maybe it was a fucking polar bear in Arlington, Texas, but like
yeah,
I don't know. I just started crying, so I loved it. I have nothing bad to say here at all.
yeah. I just wish they saved it for the Game Awards, but I mean they'll still do it at the Game Awards. But like, it just felt like okay, let's just throw on music because like it was the only music performance of the whole show. So we're just like let's just throw it in there. But I did love it. I mean, I love Expedition 33 a lot. It's my game of the year. So, the next game was Cinder City, which is definitely not a game you're gonna play at all. But
Nope. There are so many. This is one of those like comedy bits where it's like one genre after another genre after another genre. I'm like,
yeah,
wow,
that's
I'm
why
very
that's
not
why
interested in this.
that's why I wanted to shout it out because it was just so batshit crazy because it was like 5 different games mixed together. And it's
Yeah.
too bad it's like an online game, but like I'm keep my eye on it because maybe it's fun to play. Because I do play online games. It's not like I'm totally against that. It's just I usually don't play that. I just want to see what it's going to be like. That's all I want. That's all I want to say about it. It's like it just looks batshit crazy because it's like it was literally like every genre imaginable mixed together. There was like fucking zombies in it, mechs, like they're doing motorcycle ride. It was like Devil May Cry. It was like Call of Duty, Battlefield, every like Japanese cyber, like anything like cyber, cyberpunk, every generic thing you can mix together was in this game basically. But yeah, so we'll see. All right. The next game was La Divina Commedia, which was Italian. It's people that made that Souls game, Entoria, I think it's called. I'm really into this actually because it takes place. It's a Souls game, but it takes place in the Dante's Divine Comedy. We haven't had that since that one game we got, Dante's Inferno by EA, like way back in like PS3 era, and I thought it looked really cool. They didn't show a ton, but what I saw, definitely my kind of game. Being Italian is just the bonus, of course. Does it interest you at all? I mean, imagine it didn't, but
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. There wasn't enough information. Is this just a hack and slash? Is it Souls
no,
like?
it's
I
a
don't
Souls
know.
game. It's a
The
Souls game.
design of the monster looked really cool. What?
It's a Souls game.
Oh, okay, never mind then. We good.
Yeah.
But I do want to shout out the design of that fucking monster. Looks sick as hell.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about this trailer was that I had no freaking idea what the title of the game was. The font they used was so hard to read. I was like, what is this called? And then it didn't help that it's
Yeah.
also Italian too, but like because the way they designed the logo of the game, I was like, what the hell does that say? Because I'm trying to follow the list so I can wish list
Yeah.
it, and I'm like, what the hell is this called? But yeah, that's what it's called. It's called La Divina Commedia. So the Divine Comedy. All right, next game, Chronos: The New Dawn, which obviously we've talked about this game at least like I feel like we talked about this game 5 of the last 6 episodes or something like that. Like
They keep showing gameplay trailers. I'm tired of release the fucking game, which they are, to be fair, in a week. But still, I didn't need another goddamn trailer.
yeah, it's like it comes out what, September? So
Yeah,
2
early
weeks.
September,
2
September
weeks.
5th.
2 weeks. Oh man, doesn't feel so soon, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't.
But the tone of the trailers were different though. They were going for more like it was more action and like goofy than the normal trailers we gotten, which was very very dark and serious. Like they went a little more goofy. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I didn't notice it. I think I might have skipped these trailers just because I've seen so much of the game and I was kind of sick of it.
They used completely different music. Like they went from like they made it more of like a Call of Duty trailer in a way, which actually works because the gameplay impressions of this game have been kind of on the demo. Because like I don't know, for whatever reason the first 2 hours of the game is like slow and just the story wasn't hitting for people. Like I was watching several reactions to it and it didn't sound like they were like oh my god, this game's amazing. It was like this game feels like a 7 out of 10 right now. But like I don't know, but again I'm not saying it's gonna be that. I'm just saying that's the general impression. It was like, oh, this is like a good game, but I think the demo was just not that great from what I'm hearing, not the game itself. But I'm so sold on this game because I trust Bloober Team after Silent Hill 2 remake, and they're putting everything into it. I mean, they had a guy in a costume on stage, and that looked badass. Like that was really cool. And I'm into it. They put all their money into it. Bloober Team seems like they have money to have like full marketing and show up at every Jeff Keighley show at this point. So, although once again, Jeff Keighley has a dark, like horror space game at his show. It's just one of his pillars of his shows. Anime games, Souls games, dark space horror games, right? So, Outer Worlds 2, what is there to say? We talked about this game in detail. I don't think did they show anything new at this trailer?
They did. They showed off all the companions, but I don't have much to say about it.
See, that's the thing is the companions need to be good for me because I thought the biggest disappointment for Avowed was the companions. I thought the companions in Avowed were very boring, and I thought they were really good in Outer Worlds 1. So I hope Obsidian does a good job with the companions because companions can really make or break these kind of games. So I'm not sure if you had that issue with Avowed, but
I didn't. I thought that Outer Worlds had better companions. I wasn't as down on the companions in Avowed as you were, but I didn't think they were amazing. Certainly, there's been better in other RPGs.
Avowed was very strange for me because I typically love Obsidian storytelling and all that stuff, and the gameplay is not the greatest. While Avowed was like the gameplay was awesome, but the story was not that great. So hopefully, Outer Worlds 2 has the best of both worlds for me. The next game is Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault. I'm very excited for this game. It's an early access though. Did you have any interest in Moonlighter 2?
No, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, we did. It's just for the audience, so no interest. This perfect Steam Deck game for me. So, I'm gonna pull up the timestamp. Where is it? Moonlighter 2, because it gave us a release date. Now, I believe.
I don't remember them giving us a release date.
Yeah, October 23rd, actually. October 23rd. But it's an early access on October 23rd. And it's coming to Game Pass day 1 as well. All right. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which it had some controversy with some people, but it looked cool. I'm definitely into it. It comes out October 21st and looks like a perfect Halloween game. So I'm looking for a couple Halloween games because I feel like October doesn't have a lot of horror games. It feels like very big action games. Did you have any interest in this game? Have you ever played a Vampire the Masquerade game?
I never played the original. I want to at some point. I have some notes from the demo if you're interested.
Sure, go ahead.
So the IGN was done by a series veteran. So he's played the original and, has followed the follow-ups and stuff. I will say my number one problem with this, and Seb already alluded to it, they have paid DLC day one. Some of the clans are or one of the three clans are locked on paid DLC. That feels super scummy.
Because of business. That's the actual quote.
Yeah, fuck their business. But anyway, look, I like the Chinese room. Nothing against them. This feels like a higher ups decision because they never did anything like this with Still Wakes the Deep or anything like that. But I don't know. Either way, that's the big controversy. The other controversy is like there's not a lot of customizability for your character. There's a fixed backstory, so it just feels like you can't be as all over the place as you could be in the originals. If for folks who don't know, the game had a soft cancellation, went through developmental hell, has a new dev with the Chinese room. I already mentioned what they've made, which is Still Wakes the Deep, which I thought was good, but not great. The series veteran says that he's cautiously optimistic. It has a modest map, a beautiful atmosphere. That's really what the Chinese room does very well. Basically, there's a masquerade meter. So if you do too many things in front of humans as a vampire, eventually you'll get discovered and that'll result in a game over. But it feels pretty forgiving, he said. Maybe a little too forgiving. Biting gets you healing and recharges your vampire disciplines or special abilities. He said it felt well balanced, blood resonance with emotions. So if a character that you're biting has a certain emotion and it resonates with the clan that you're in, then you will get extra blood from it. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Pausing for a snack in the middle of a game, like a combat encounter, did not feel risky. Gameplay did not feel great, but it's Bloodlines. You're not really expecting great gameplay. The original didn't have great gameplay. That's not why people really played it. Mm-hmm. It did feel a bit clumsy and chaotic, and weapons can only be used with telekinesis, not with your hands, which felt weird. Day one DLC for certain clans, I've already talked about. That's utter bullshit, and it makes me not want to buy the game. You can do cross-clan disciplines, but like you can get powers from other clans, but they're pricier in terms of not real-life currency, but in-game currency from biting people and shit. I don't know. And then, of course, the big thing here, story, right? Story felt compelling. Amazing writing, great characters, and, quote, top-notch voice acting. Also, you have a vampire detective in your head. So, I mean, that's happening. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I had to say about it, or that he had to say about it. I'm interested, but I'm conflicted. I'd be a lot less conflicted if that DLC wasn't happening. I just think that's really scummy to hide 1/3 of the game. And a lot of people are saying the best clan, by the way, not like just some throwaway clan they just invented. It's one of the better clans from the first game, and they're hiding it behind paid DLC. Now, we don't know how much it's going to be. Fuck, maybe it's 99 cents. But I still think it's lame. I still think it's a bad call PR-wise. Maybe it's good for business, but it just makes me not want to play their game because it's a scummy business decision.
Yeah, I mean, the DLC doesn't really piss me off because it's not really going to affect me, but I don't agree with it, of course. I'm into it. I mean, if it's not for this DLC stuff, I think you will really be into it. I think Masquerade games are very RPG narrative based and stuff like that.
They're very me. Yeah, and I mean, I do still have interest. I'm not saying I'm definitively not going to buy it.
No, I get what you're saying.
But it makes me less interested.
Yeah,
I hope they change course on it. That would be great. Mm-hmm. Do we know what is it coming to? Is it coming to Game Pass at all?
Let me pull it up.
Because if it is, I'll probably play it. But I just more reticent about. I'll put it this way, Seb. If you buy it, I'll play it. But I don't know that I would buy it.
I mean, yeah, it's not.
That's how I feel about it.
It's not coming to Game Pass, but I'm gonna buy it on Steam, so you can just play it on Steam. So
Okay. Well, I will probably love the storytelling, and I think the atmosphere will be really great. I think I'll just be let down by the combat, and that's pretty much Silent Hill. And I thought that game was amazing, so could
Yeah,
still be really good. Who knows?
yeah. I did skip Silent Hill F because they didn't show a ton of new stuff, and that was the same kind of thing. So that's why I didn't mention Silent Hill F. Um, they did show us the English dub of it, but I don't know. I might just stick with the Japanese dub. I don't know. I have to think about it. So that's why I skipped that. All right, let's move on to uh Cult of the Lamb, Woolhaven, the DLC. Did you have any interest in this? Have you ever played Cult of the Lamb?
No.
No. I'm really into it just because like I haven't played Cult of the Lamb in a while, and there's a good jumping point to get back into it. I played it on PlayStation, so I can replay the original game on Steam and then transition to the DLC. They've really done a great job supporting this game. Like this game has a lot of DLC, and this I was really digging what I was seeing because Cult of the Lamb was a top 10 game for me when the year it came out. It was in the top 10 for me. Like it was my favorite indie game of that year, and I'm really into this. So, all right, World of Warcraft Midnight, the new expansion. Obviously, Dory's no interest in that, but I think I think Blizzard's done a good job with WoW recently. This is part 2 of the saga, but I thought the cinematic was kind of disappointing. Like usually World of Warcraft's cinematics, which is a top 5 game of all time for me. World of Warcraft, I played more hours in that game than any other game in the history of games. Like I put like 20,000 hours in that game. It's my top 5 favorite game. Probably that's actually my second favorite game of all time. Only game higher than that is Resident Evil 4. And I don't really play MMOs anymore. I just don't have the time. It's really hard to balance a podcast with an MMO. You know what I mean? Like play video game podcasts,
Yeah.
play new games, and also have time to play MMO while working full time, hanging out with friends, or just doing any hobbies I want to do. It's impossible. But one thing I can always say about World of Warcraft is their cinematics are almost always beautiful and amazing, and Blizzard just knocks out the trailers. But this one was just kind of lacking. It was kind of eh. And did you watch it or just kind of just skip through it?
I skipped through it. I didn't even watch it.
It was just kind of like blah. I don't know. It was missing something. It was just like elves and they get the power of light and they fight darkness. Like it was very generic. I thought so. But I think that I'm sure the expansion's gonna be pretty good though. They did a whole Blizzard had a big presence at Gamescom and they had like a whole like couple shows for Warcraft and stuff, but I'm not gonna talk about that in this show, so I didn't watch any of that either. All right, Ghost of Yotai Legends mode. The big surprise was they're adding a Legends mode already. People were thinking it's gonna be a way later, but apparently it's coming out next year. So, are you any interest in Legends mode for Ghost of Yotai?
I loved Legends mode. One of the few multiplayer modes in recent years that I've absolutely adored. So yeah, if you ever want to play that with me, I'm there. I'm there day one for that.
All right, just for the sake of the podcast, we're gonna save the last 2 games of the opening night live for the end. So I want to talk about Replaced, which was that 2.5D indie game that Dory is really excited for. They were both of us really excited for. I'm still waiting for this game. I feel like I've been waiting for this game for a long time now. Dory, can you talk about the Replaced for me, please?
Sure. Replaced is a 2.5D action adventure game. It has sci-fi, cyberpunk, and themes and pixel art. Art direction looks incredible. It's set in the 1980s America with 16-bit graphics. Has really good music led by synth. And the animation is also really good. It's in that like sweet spot of it's 16-bit, so you don't want the animation to be too good, but you want it to be good enough to be readable, right? Because of the combat. So ends up being a nice middle point. So you play as this character named Breach, who is an AI who lives in the body of Warren, who is left for dead in a pile of corpses. There's lots of pieces of paper and collectibles for world building purposes. There are some sections that have stealth and snipers where you can get one shot. But the most interesting part is that you can the combat is very Arkham very Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham whatever. Basically, enemies will have a signal over their head when they are doing a blockable or unblockable attack, just like in Arkham. And you can counter and you can build up meters based on your counters and based on your attacks to build special attacks. It starts as HD, but eventually goes 2.5. There are some hidden collectibles for upgrades and info and replay value. And then there's also RPG elements like side quests and free roam. So it looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've been day one on this game since I've seen it. I just not getting any release date. It still says coming soon on Steam. Did they give us any like release window or like a date or something? Dory?
No, they did not. Sorry, I heard you. They did not. Yeah, we still don't know.
Dang. I hope hopefully it comes out. Well, at the very least, I wouldn't mind it come out next year, but like hopefully early next year, or November, December would be perfect too. So, all right, let's talk about games at the Future Game Show. Now, the Future Game Show was wasn't the greatest show, but like it had a good amount of games. A lot of them we already know about, so we're gonna fly through this pretty fast. So the first one I want to talk about was Skate, which is EA's Tony Hawk. Basically, it's their skateboard series. Dory, do you play Skate at all? Like I know because you.
No, it's more realistic. It's not my bag.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely interested in it, but yeah, it's definitely more of a realistic simulator version. But I'll just keep my eye on it, and hopefully it's pretty good. The next game, which really appealing to me, was 1348 X Voto. It was giving me like Plague Tale vibes. It had the same kind of like behind the back of the character and everything. It was very cinematic. The graphics look really nice. I'm very interested what kind of game this is gonna be. If it's like a cool like short cinematic experience, like maybe like Hellblade or something, then I'd be into that as well. Comes out on everything except for Switch, and it says early 2026. Did this appeal to you at all?
I thought it looked interesting. What really grabbed me in a bad way is that the IGN trailer had really bad frame rate for some reason, so it looked like it was in like 15 frames per second. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me to enjoy it from what I saw, and when I tried to look at others, it was just for me to, just enjoy it apart from that. I don't know. I just didn't see enough to grab me one way or another positively.
Gotcha. They also are showing Hell Is Us. Hell Is Us comes out in 2 weeks. Are you interested in Hell Is Us?
I am. The demo actually was pretty good, and surprisingly, given that it has a lot of stuff that I don't normally like. Yeah. But I'm glad I gave it a shot, and I'm not day one or anything, but I'm certainly going to be paying attention to review.
Yeah, I mean, not that you have to be, because I'm buying it anyway, so.
Right.
The next game was Blood of Dawnwalker. I mean, we've talked about this game several times now at this point, right?
Yeah. I have demo notes, but we're going to skip over them because we've already talked about it a few times. But basically, it's Witcher stuff. You can skip right to the end boss if you want, a la Breath of the Wild. You can tackle missions either day or night, vampire or human. So there's a cool bit of diversity here. I don't know whether I'm day one or not, but I like a lot of what I see.
Again, not a game you have to buy anyway, because I'm probably going to buy that day one. It's my kind of game, so. Just comparing it to The Witcher, it means I'm just day one for me. The next game that interests me was Deer and Boy, which I feel like I've seen this game before. Maybe not, but it looks like a very cute platformer indie game where you're playing as a little boy and as a deer, and it's probably gonna make me cry. It's gonna be that kind of game. And does this appeal to you at all?
I thought it looked cute. I'm not big on indie puzzle platformers, so I'm not sure.
It's definitely more.
But I thought it looked cute. Yeah.
Cool. The next game we talked about as well was Dreams of Another. That I thought looked interesting. It feels like it was kind of giving me Silent Hill vibes. Like this game is weird because it's like he's walking through like this really pixelated bubbles everywhere, like land. He has a gun and everything, and he shoots the pixels. But the tone of it was very creepy, and the music they used was kind of creepy. I'm trying to get what kind of game this is. Like I've seen gameplay. I know I know how it plays, but like, what's the tone of this game? So, do you have any interest in this one?
Uh, which one was this? This was the Dreams of Another. I think it looks cool, but I need to see more like actual gameplay. This was just like an interview,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I didn't think much of it.
and it's a VR game too, so you can take that as you want. Recur, which this this game seemed maybe more me because it plays like a puzzle platformer, which Dory doesn't really care for. Um, I was kind of into it. I didn't know anything about this game, but it looked kind of cool. I like the visuals and simple gameplay. Kind of looks like Inside the way it plays. So
Yeah,
this is more me than you.
yeah, but this is definitely a Seb game. I didn't get much out of this.
Yeah, and then they showed Hotel Barcelona, which we talked about plenty of times. Batshit crazy.
Right.
This game looks. It's mostly an interview, but I just wanted to reiterate how fun this game looks and how batshit crazy it is, and I'm really into it. I forget, were you into this game or you kind of on the fence?
I need to see more and see reviews and stuff. I agree that it looks batshit, and I like that, and I like how, I like how it looks in some ways, but in the other, it feels like a Metroidvania, and I don't really like that stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, Tormented Souls 2. I'm very excited for this game. I really like the first game. Again, this is very me. I'm a big fan of survival horror. It's a tribute to old school Resident Evil, old school survival horror with the fixed camera angles and stuff. The enemy design looks really cool. The storyline is actually pretty good, and it comes out October 23rd, which is great. Like I said, there's not a lot of Halloween games in October, so it's good. It's a really good game to come out only a week before Halloween. So I would ask you if you're interested, but you're probably not. It's not.
No, and in general, just for our viewers, I just didn't think much of this in general. There, almost every show, every game on this show was either a game I already knew about, didn't have much interest in, was already sold on, so didn't need to see again, or did I already say games I wasn't interested in? So
Yeah.
let's just say that one twice.
Gotcha. All right, so I'll just mostly speed through for me then. Styx Blade of Greed. I really like the six games. They play as a goblin. It's a stealth game. So they're fun to play. Another game that we talked about before was Aethermancer, where you play it's like a creature collector. Like I think it's a roguelite as well. I love the visuals and the gameplay looks really fun. Wind Blue really appeals to me because it looks like a Star Fox tribute. You're playing as animal characters, and they're flying ships, and the combat is very Star Fox. It's on rails. It looks really fun. I love the look of it, the colors and stuff. Little Nightmares 3, talked about it plenty of times. Day one, I already bought it. So yeah, Lost Helden. Let's see.
This was the only game that I thought looked interesting. It's like an action RPG. It's got really good graphics or graphical style, I should say.
Yeah.
It just looked like a lot of fun. The gameplay looked really fun. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't have like a ton to say, but it's got some notable people like the illustrator of Gravity Rush, as well as it's got like one of the game directors from let's see, music and audio direction done by the same guy who did Final Fantasy 12 and Valkyria Chronicles, illustrator. So the music and illustrations are probably going to be really good. I don't know how good the action will be, but it looked cool.
Yeah, and then the next game was Serial World, which like sounds like another Pal World. Nintendo's gonna sue. But like I thought it looked like Pokemon, but it looked fun. It looked like a Pokemon game with a card system, and the creature design didn't look like it was very Pokemon based, of course, but they don't like rip offs of Pokemon. They look like actual like they went out of their way to create actual Pokemon. Well, I say Pokemon monsters that look different than Pokemon. So if anything, they kind of look like Digimon a little bit. But I thought I like creature collecting games, so this appealed to me a lot. And this game might do. Well, is this game even on Switch? Because I was saying this game's do numbers on the Switch, but it's only coming to Steam. So because Nintendo's not gonna allow that game on Nintendo
Yep.
platform. Phantom Blade Zero. We got to see more gameplay, and there was an interview. I mean, I'm day one. This game looks incredible.
I have one thing to say.
Sure.
Give me the release date, please.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Just give me the fucking release date. God damn it. This looks so good. I want it now.
Yeah, agreed. And then Pragmata. Now this game you had in your notes. So you want to talk about Pragmata, please?
Yeah, let's talk about Pragmata. So Pragmata, so the biggest thing I'm going to talk about is the shooting, right? So the shooting is pretty interesting. Basically, you hack enemies so you're able to shoot them. And the hacking minigame, I don't know if our viewers and listeners are old enough to remember, but when you used to have those brick of a mobile phone, you'd have like a little snake game that you could play, and you'd try to get the pellet. I don't know. Most people watching this are going to be like, what the f*** is she talking about? But anyway, that's basically what you're doing.
It's called Snake.
And yes, it's called Snake. And not that Snake who was actually hosting. Yeah, I mean, basically you have to hack past their defenses to be able to shoot them, and then you can shoot them. That sounds tricky, but basically you're only dealing, at least in the demo, you were only dealing with like 1 to 2 enemies per, encounter, and they're pretty slow. And different enemies have different amount of defenses. So if you've got like a big hulking enemy, then maybe, it's gonna take a while. Whereas if it's like a small scanner droid, it's pretty simple, right? Excuse me. Sorry, losing my voice. The boss had multiple layers while attacking with missiles, so that felt pretty cool to the previewer. It's a very pretty game, as you might have been able to see from the demo, but it also looks very samey. And the person who was demoing it felt like it was very easy to get lost and not know where the heck you were going during the exploration segments.
I've heard I've heard mixed opinions on the gameplay. Like some people really found it fun, and some people thought like, this game may not be as good as I hoped.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I was going to talk about. The previewer said that even in the demo, the gameplay felt kind of repetitive and getting too easy for him, and that was just in 30 minutes to an hour, right? So obviously they've got to mix it up at some point and either add new hacking mini games or new layers of difficulty or put more bosses because the bosses felt better. Don't know, but that's just what I heard. Diana is adorable, and I will defend her with my life. I love Diana. She is amazing. She's a little cyborg kid on your back, and I'm just such a sucker for old, burnt out, middle-aged white dude reclaims his love of all things good through a child, even if it's a robot child. So I'm just a big sucker for that trope. Let me see. The demo was light on narrative. Hugh is trying to get back to Earth. He's stranded on a ship. That's it. That's pretty much all they got. But it's a demo, so there could be better story and better character stuff between Hugh and Diana when you play the game.
Yeah, my question for this game is it going to be too easy or is it going to be too hard? Because, like, it seems like it's going to be easy if it's that easy to hack the enemies to do like triple damage. But at the same time, like when there's like actual bosses we get later in the game, and the bosses are like really hard, and then you have to dodge constant laser beams and stuff. Is it gonna be really hard to play a puzzle game at the same time while you're constantly dodging barrages of things? So this game can be either really easy or really hard. So, I right now I don't mind the hacking game. I think it looks pretty fun. I'm into it. I'm into the story. I'm into the environment. So at the moment, I'm day one. At the moment, and it's Capcom too, so it's a bonus because I trust Capcom. But yeah, like this game might not be as good as we hope, but it might still be a good game. Like it doesn't mean it's gonna be horrible. You know what I mean? So it's just this game has a lot of hype. Like this could be like Capcom's next big IP. So We've been waiting a long time for it, but it doesn't have to be a masterpiece to live up to the hype. I think it just needs to be a good game. So, so far, at the very least, I think it's going to be a good game. I don't get the sense that it's going to be a bad game. It just might not be like a fantastic game. So, maybe like an 8 out of 10. But we, I'm just guessing. All right, we're almost done. Halloween is getting a game. What? Where did this come from? I mean,
With executive producer John Carpenter. So again, him involved in video games. I love it. This is single player or multiplayer. It looks very authentic. I mean, you had the theme song, but not just that, like the placement of the jack-o'-lantern, the font of the title, everything felt so authentically Halloween. Like as a long fan who grew up with the series, I liked a lot of what I saw. I'm not big on stealth games, but I love Halloween, so
yeah.
I'm very cautiously optimistic for this.
I'm a little mixed on the cartoony, goofy character models, but it was kind of giving me like Destroy All Humans, the way the character models looked. But
Yeah.
my big thing is like there's all these horror games where it's like isometric or whatever it's called, and that you just like you're stealthing. One person plays as a killer and you run around the map. Like, is that what this game is? Because that's gonna.
No, I think because there's a single player option, I don't think necessarily it's trying Dead by Daylight, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, because we keep getting these games from like IP of horror IPs. We got a Friday 13th one. They did the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They did was it the Puppets? They did Dead by Daylight has every single horror icon. They did Evil Dead. So like I'm hoping this game is not just another one of those. So because a lot of them don't last. They struggle to find an audience. Friday the 13th closed down, and Evil Dead closed down, and then the Killer Clown game has like no people playing it. So that's a concern. So hopefully this is like single player and they do something different. So that's my hope for it. I'm a huge Halloween fan. We've actually never talked about Halloween like the Michael Myers on this podcast, but obviously we wouldn't because it's a gaming podcast. But yeah, we're both big fans of Halloween. All right. Two more games. The one game I wanted to shout out was like the post show. It was like Kaidon. It was like I want to say it's Souls game, but it was an action game in an Asian setting. It might have been China. The enemy designs look really cool. It was like a spider enemy at the end. I thought it was cool, so I just wanted to just shout that out. You can wishlist it now. And then the last one was like Militianer, where like this giant soldiers. This might be more of a you game, too, Dory.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen this game for quite a while now. It looks interesting, but I don't know how. It's an immersive sim.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of got Big Brother vibes going on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. This was an official public playtest announcement, so you can go check it out for yourself if you.
All right, now let's talk about the last two big games of Gamescom. I would say the two biggest games of the Gamescom, cinematically and budget wise. Let's start with Black Myth Zong Kui. How do you pronounce that? Zong Kui.
Zongqui.
Zongqui, that's it. Zongqui. Black Myth Zongqui. At first I thought it was DLC for Black Myth, but turns out this game is actually a spin-off or just a game in the same universe. So it's a brand new game, completely different protagonist. What did you think of the show? Like, did you know about this at all, or were you? Like...
I had no idea this was coming. It looks cool. I liked Black Myth a lot, and if they can tighten up some of those later open world-ish parts, I think that this could be another really good game for Game Science.
Yeah, because apparently Zhang Kui is based on Chinese folklore, where he's a ghost catching god, and he can wander between hell and earth. So that's cool.
Yeah, he's Chinese. He's the Chinese Ghostbusters.
That's definitely one way to put it. But yeah, it looks. I mean, it looks awesome. I mean, both of us have mixed opinions about game science. You know, the shit they've
Right.
done. But Wukong was a top 10 game for me, top 5 game for me last
It
year.
was top 10 or top 5 for me as well.
That game was awesome. So, all right, and then Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Requiem. What did you think of the gameplay that we saw with Alyssa and Grace?
Right. So we showed off. They showed off a new stalker enemy who is unnamed as of now. She is just a huge lady. She's about as tall as Lady D, but she hunches like Quasimodo. Reacts to your sounds and movements. Will travel above you to the air ducts, but can be distracted by glass bottles and harmed by bright light. So now it kind of makes sense why monsters can't go in the save room, at least in this game. You would always see those funny clips of like Mr. X like chasing after Leon, and then like suddenly he tries to go in the save room. He's like, "Oh, I'm just duck right out," and it makes no fucking sense, right? So it was good.
Yeah, I was really. I mean, they didn't really show much, but first of all, the visuals look incredible. I mean, Resident Evil and the RE engine just looks insane. I mean, they've perfected it even more so nowadays.
I should also mention.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I should also mention first versus third. We've talked about this before, but you can change perspectives anytime. I'm probably gonna play in first person just for that added immersion. But yeah. I might try the third if I don't like it.
I prefer third person, but it feels like this game was more made for first. If I had to be honest with you, they keep
they do have bespoke animations for third person, so I wouldn't count it out. I would at least give it a shot.
I mean, I'm gonna play third person personally, but if the way they've been demoing it and showing it off, almost always in first, it feels like it was more designed for.
They did tell the previewer that's the intended way to play the game, but
yeah,
they did. You know, for example, when she is like running away from the stalker character, like she like trips over herself, which won't happen in first person, but will only happen in third person. So to like make it still like kind of suspenseful, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad for it because I strongly prefer Resident Evil to be third person. I mean, Resident Evil is my favorite franchise, and I don't get me wrong, I really love 7 and 8, but my favorite Resident Evil games are all third person. You asked me, so. All right, and that's pretty much it for it, right? We got to see Alyssa. That was cool. Finally. And she looked good. She seemed very independent. She seemed like she knows what she's been. I mean, she experienced Raccoon City, right? She survived it, so she's very experienced with this kind of stuff. They showed like the man getting suffocated by the hooded man. And then apparently Alyssa gets killed right before the trailer ends. I don't think it's gonna end up that way. I think that was just a fake out, but I'm interested to see what the story's gonna be. And we got to see how Grace was before. She's probably more experienced now, and she's probably trained to be like with the FBI and everything. Like she was having a panic attack basically. I mean, wouldn't you? Obviously, if you experience, we're going through all that. So. The character development in this game looks really good, and I think the story's gonna be strong. I got a good feeling about the story and the characters. I'm really excited for this. This is gonna be if this is probably my most anticipated game of next year, if not for Grand Theft Auto 6. So I am very, 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 very excited. I'm beyond day one. I mean, it's Resident Evil. So, all right, and that concludes our topic about Gamescom. Now, next week is insane. There's really no. Even if there is some news, I probably have to prioritize game impressions because there is so much to talk about next week. I mean, Gears of War Reloaded comes out on Tuesday. Kirby, the Nightling, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater comes out on Thursday, and then Lost Soulside and Shinobi Art of Vengeance comes out on Friday. So it's like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that I'm interested in next week. So this is the week I've been waiting on. So
I have half that. I'm interested in Gears, Delta, and
Lost Soulside.
And Lost Soulside. So I will certainly have impressions on on Gears of War.
Yeah.
and maybe on Delta, but I won't have anything past that.
I like that Gears of War comes out on Tuesday. That way I have some time to beat it before I get to the next game. But I'll probably rotate.
I'm gonna be playing with him, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, because Gears of War is not a long game, and I've beaten that game like 7 to 8 times. I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time. And then Kirby is not a priority, but it's like $20. The Switch 2 version is really exciting me. So we got a lot of impressions to talk about. We're not going to talk about all of it. I'm not even going to play all of that. There's no way with a job I can.
I'm not going to play Lost Soul aside. I'm going to try to beat Delta and Gears before I do that. Delta's going to be like the game I play by myself, and Gears is going to be the game I play with Kim, and then I'll play Lost Souls aside the week after.
And then the week after that is Hirogami, Hell Is Us, Indiana Jones DLC, and then Chronos. So it's
good lord.
That's all in this next 2 weeks. So we're not gonna talk about all of that on the next 2 weeks, but we're gonna talk about a good amount. So we're gonna
a lot of it.
Yeah. So all right. So hold on to your butts, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know this episode was a little chaotic because it was so much to talk about because of Gamescom, and it's still going on tomorrow. So there might be something even new tomorrow. So if there's anything new, we'll talk about it next week. So. I don't think so, though. Have a good night, Dory, and take care. And peace, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Happy birthday to me. Hopefully I don't disappear in a bunch of beautiful petals. That would be tragic. Possibly lead to a tearjerker reaction for people who are not familiar with that twist.
It's okay. I'll go to the island and save you. I'll try to save you.
Oh, thanks, Seb. See, a real friend right there.
Yeah. I got 1 year left.
There you go.
All right, bye.
Just don't run into this guy named Simon. I swear, he's a little tough.